Did you ever have a last minute change of, contract or the type of show you're doing? Or have you ever come to a location where you're supposed to do a gig and then it turns out to be something completely different? If we're just meeting, my name is Caroline Raven. I've been a full-time magician for the past almost 10 years now, and I have had everything happen to me. I have showed up without a luggage. I've been internationally doing cruise shows, losing my luggage, and just a few days ago, I went to do a show and the contract says Swedish. I walk up, I hear a lot of people speaking English, and I ask the client 12 minutes before the show, even after we've already had phone meetings and talked to my agent, everything is done. He says, no, this is gonna be in English. And my show is already set on the stage. Everything is done. My prediction envelope is done. Everything is ready in Swedish. I'm a professional. I've done this a million times. I know that things go wrong. Isn't that the Murphy's Law? Like whatever can happen, does happen? No, I don't know exactly what it's called. In this video, I want to talk to you about two examples that has happened to me being a professional magician. If you're watching this, and if you're an entertainer of any sort, or maybe you're a magician, you're a juggler, or whatever you are, and knowing that you want to do more shows or you want to get out there gigging more, you're gonna run into this type of situations. Like you're gonna get to a place where the microphone is not there, or well, in my case, you show up, it's a different language, or even I'm gonna share a little more personal story, or like kind of a private story in a way. So this video is gonna be a little more serious than the other ones. If you have been here for a while, you know that I'm trying to be funny at least, and I want to be very like high energy. But in this video, I feel like we have to talk about something that is a little more serious and how you can make sure that you actually level up as an entertainer, because that's what it all came down to. In both of these cases we're gonna talk about today, I had to step up my professionalism and just do it and then bitch about it on YouTube. No, I'm kidding. But basically that's what I'm doing right now. I feel like we're both on the same page though. We can do this. We're gonna talk about two different situations that happened to me. The first one is the one that happened a few days ago. So let's just back everything up. I've been working with the same agent for the past 6 years, and she's amazing. I mean, there are other people booking me. I'm part of so many different like booking agencies or talent agencies or wedding planners or whatever. They can always book my show, but all my contracts are written by my agent Charlotte, and she's amazing, and she makes sure that everything is perfect. It has everything that I need. It comes with a best practices for my magic show, which says what kind of things I need on the stage. It says where the tables are standing. It says to not serve food during my show. Everything that I need to be able to do my best type of work is in the best practices. So everything is sent out to the client approximately 2 weeks, or sometimes if I'm super busy, a week before the event, I have a phone call with the client. This is usually the first time I talk to the client at all, because everything goes through my agent. If they come through my website or if it comes to a booking agency or whatever, they will have all the conversations before, and then we have the conversation over phone. It's usually a 10 to 20 minute call where we talk about everything that's in the contract. So I check, is the location correct? Is the language correct? How many people are we expecting? What kind of people are they? Are they people who are working together? Are these people who are flying in, or do they know each other at all? Did they bring their spouse? All these things that could be nice to know. Will there be kids? Will there be alcohol served? All of the things that I feel are important to my show, I want to know in advance. I want to know, have they been partying since 12, or have they had just one drink, like a glass of Prosecco or something when walking in, and then just one glass of wine to the dinner. That's perfect for me. A little tipsy is good for my show. That's what I want. I don't want pre-partying since 12 and 5 beers during dinner, and that's just gonna be a disaster. But a few days ago, I talked to the clients on the phone before. Everything was done. Well, actually, it wasn't done. They booked one thing. The contract says one thing. It says walk around. This is what we're doing. 45 minutes. Then on the phone call, when I was talking to the booker, who was an event planner, he was like, no, I think maybe it's better we do the show. The show is going to be better. And I was like, yeah, sure. The show is usually a little more expensive. And I was like, you have to talk to my agents and then everything will be fine. He ends up getting a great deal on the show because they already signed the contract for one sum of money. And so they didn't change the contract after this. Everybody was like verbally agreeing, and also there was an email confirming that this is what we're doing instead. So we were doing, instead of doing the 45-minute walk around, we ended up doing a 20-minute show, which I prefer, honestly. I prefer doing the show over a walk around in most situations, because I love having the entire crowd in front of me, making sure everybody sees some magic, because when you're doing walk around, not everybody gets to see it. And I feel like I am my best self when I'm doing a 20-minute show. We agree, the money doesn't change. It's gonna be in Swedish, it's gonna be the same people, everything is great. I pack my stuff. And as I said, I'm a professional. I've done this a million times. I know that things can go wrong. I can write something wrong on my prediction paper or whatever. Everything is ready. I bring extra of everything that I need, that I know that I'm gonna need extra of. Or, well, probably not gonna need it, but I might need it, so I always have it with me. Get to the venue. It's far. We're driving 5 hours to get there. I bring my assistant with me. We get to the venue. Everything is beautiful. Everything is great. And they're only hiring these women entertainers. And it's a beautiful venue. It's great. And the food is amazing. And the audience is great. Everything is perfect. And then I start listening. And I hear people are speaking English. And I double check the contract, Swedish. I call my agent, Swedish. She texts me too. I double checked in the emails, it's Swedish. And so I decided to go up to talk to the event planner, who luckily was there. And he said, oh, no, it's gonna be in English. I already talked to your agent, it should be fine. You do English as well. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Give me a few minutes. And this is no joke, 12 minutes before the show is supposed to start. This is when you turn up your professionalism. This is when you, yes, absolutely, this is what we're doing. I run up the stage, bring my assistant with me. I basically pulled her arm. I was like, we have a problem. Because the show, everything's in Swedish. My Sherlock Holmes books are in Swedish. The prediction envelope, the big ending of the show is in Swedish. So I have to pull everything, run backstage, and then rewrite the envelope, or the prediction, because I had two with me. Yes, two with me, did everything, ended up having to pull Sherlock Holmes, because everything was in Swedish, I had to pull it out, which was fine. I still had stories to tell, I'm quite funny. If you haven't noticed, I'm quite funny. So I prepped the stage again, everything is done, everything is ready, and then it's like he didn't know that he had to present me. So I sent him my presentation in English. Since he had the Swedish one, I sent him the English one. He was like, oh, you want the presentation? And I was like, yeah. He did the presentation. He did a really good job with the presentation, I must say. He read it like a second before. He goes up on stage, reads the presentation, and I go up, I do the show, everything is funny, but not everybody knew that I was doing a show, so people were like walking in, which I could make a joke of. Like I'm up there on stage and I see this person coming in and somebody says, he was just in the bathroom. And I go, oh, I hope you washed your hands. And because that's funny, you know, because you're supposed to, you're a grown up. And anyways, that happens, I do the show. After the show, everybody's like, oh my God, that was amazing. I'm so happy you were here. That was great. And I was like, yeah, I know, because I'm a professional. I deliver no matter what. And if you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, one day I wish to be a full-time magician too, or an entertainer or whatever, I want you to take this away. Like, shit is gonna happen. Shit is gonna happen. And when it happens, it is your job not to be a bitch about it, maybe on YouTube, and just up your professionalism, smile to the client. I mean, the client isn't always right. In this case, I'd say that he wasn't right, but I ended up doing a great job anyways. Smile, say yes, adapt, and you're golden. And that's how you get a rebooking afterwards. Because he's always gonna remember how professional I was, didn't question him, that I was just, you know, double checking, so everything was fine, and, you know, delivering and killing. And speaking of upping your professionalism, that's not what he did. Like, he took zero responsibility in this. He was like, I already told your agent. And maybe he did. And I don't know, because Charlotte says one thing to me, he says one thing to me. And he took zero responsibility, which is totally fine, but you still have to perform. In this case, I had to perform and deliver to my end client, which is the people sitting in the audience. And for the people who are actually sitting in the audience and making sure that they're having the best time. Because people say, or magicians say, I don't know who says, somebody says that a usual person, like a normal person, only sees one magic show in their entire life. And I want to make sure if I am that magician for them, that they're getting high class. They're getting the best possible show that they can possibly get. Also, that was one example. One example of when I was a total pro and I delivered, over-delivered, I'd say. The second one, I want to talk to you about something that it's very different. As I said, it might be a little private, but if you follow me on Instagram and have been following me for a while, you know that I've been talking about mental illness due to sexual assault. And I've been very open about this, and I feel like most women have been very open about this who are like somewhat influencers on social media. But during Me Too, I was one of those entertainers or influencers or whatever you want to call me who spoke up about sexual harassment and not being very safe when you're working. And after Me Too, I must say, after Me Too, everything was changing for a while. Like, I didn't really get those pinch in the butt situations anymore, which has happened. It's happened. At one time specifically, there was this one client who I was standing doing a close-up show, and I could feel this guy running his hand in my inner thigh and like trying to grab Trump places. And I stepped away. I told the client right away, like the organizer, and he ended up being kicked out of the venue, which is the right thing to do. But a few weeks ago, I was doing a show where I felt like maybe I have to say something, but it wasn't like I have to say something. So let me know in the comments below, what would you have done in this situation that I'm just about to tell you? What would you have done? Who would you have told? And like, what can I think about next time? And I don't want to hear, oh my God, Caroline, you're such a prude, because I'm really not. I'm not a prude, and it's totally fine to think that I am, but please, that's not what I want to hear right now, because I had an experience that was not very pleasant for me, and I am asking you, what do you think that I can do and think about for the next time, okay? So what happened was, I was doing a show, it was a normal weekday, it was a normal company, it was like 250, 300 guests or something, and I'm doing first an hour of walk around, and I could feel that there is this tension is the wrong word because they had been drinking alcohol. There was this like aura of it being okay to say things like, oh, but you're so pretty kind of situation. Not like too much, not like sexual or anything, but there was this feeling, right? And if there's a feeling, there's a feeling. I do the walk around, and I'm feeling things like people are, and even touching my assistant. Like, let's just draw a line right there. I brought my assistant with me, and this one guy reaches out on all social media platforms I have, asking for her name, asking who she is, which is not okay at all. And then even one guy touching her on the back of her, well, back and down to her butt, like on the hip, but too far down, like patting her in a way. And she's 21. And I didn't know until after. And I was like, what would I have said? To who would I have said it? You know, back off, you know? And I feel like there's so many situations where things like this happen, where, well, now it didn't happen to me, it happened to my assistant. And I feel like I am responsible for her, you know? Anyways, so that happened, that was part of everything. And then during the show, there was this one guy who I heard was, you know, quite funny, and he had been spending so many years at the hospital, no, at this company, and for that reason, he might have been a good person to bring up because he was retiring. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I usually don't take recommendations. Maybe this is the reason. I bring the person up on stage, right? And we're doing something funny, you know, we're doing a trick. I can't remember which trick. Oh yeah, it was for the finale. It was No Brainer, which is a great trick. I'm having him up there, and he says, maybe after the show, you can come with me to my room. And he's like 65, 66 maybe. And I'm like, in the moment, like that's totally fine. Like he's just making a joke. It's very inappropriate, but it's also very gross in a way. Like, I'm 33, and then, you know, knowing that my assistant was just grabbed in a way, and then he says that, and then after the show, he came up to me as if he wanted to thank me or whatever. So he comes up and he's like trying to hug me in a way, and I'm professional. I do the polite hug, you know. I don't do the, oh my God, it's more like a pat on the back kind of situation. And he says, oh yeah, that was really fun show. You know, the things that I said, that'd be really nice. That can't be the first time that somebody said something like that to you. And I'm like, what? Like, I mean, you did say a joke during the show. Nobody heard it, and it's ridiculous that you would even suggest that I come with you to your room after the show. It's bonkers. And I'm there, you see I'm getting worked up. I'm there as a professional and I'm doing my job, and he's like thinking that, oh my God, you should come with me, totally. And then afterwards saying it again, and then assuming that that's not the first time and kind of insinuating that I do that kind of thing. And then afterwards, the CEO of the company came up to me and he was like, oh my God, you were amazing. We would love to bring you back. You were so good with all of our guests. They all loved you. Oh my God, what a great show. And I was like, oh, thank you so much, shaking his hand. And maybe we can do this again. And as me and my assistant are walking out, I'm like, I don't ever want to see their logo again because I felt so grossed out. I mean, the first thing is fine. Making the joke is fine, but then bringing it back and like not having it be a joke and insinuating that there's still this opportunity that we can do this together. Oh, it's so gross. And I'm 33. I'm strong enough. I can take this myself. I can do this. I've had situations that happened, and like, as I said, I have somewhat of a baggage of this kind of situation in the past, which is why I spoke out during Me Too. But then I see these young ladies coming into the industry, and they're so young and they're so fragile, many of them. They have zero experience in this. And I feel responsible for them as well. Like, how can we as a community, and I'm talking to you now, like how can we as a community make sure that this is a safe place, not only for guys, not only for older women, not only for people who are professionals, but people who are coming in to our industry? How do we teach them how to set boundaries of their, bodies really? How do we make sure that when they're out performing, they are safe? It's a big question. And it's a serious question, and something that I feel like if we want to have more, which is, I'm not sure everybody wants this, but if we want to have more women or ladies coming into the industry, we as a community, we have to take some sort of responsibility to this. Maybe we have to speak more about this. Maybe we have to be, talking about like space and talking about like what you can say in a situation like this. I saw, what's her name? Gabriella Lester or something like that. She's an amazing magician, and she had an encounter somewhat like this at the Magic Castle, and she handled it like a fucking pro. Like, I was so proud of her. And how old is she? 20 maybe, and she has this guy up on stage with her, and he says something really inappropriate. She's doing a trick with two guys, and it was a while since I saw it, so I don't really remember exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of the guy saying, but you're touching him more than me, why are you not touching me more? And that kind of situation, and she was like, what are you even saying by just being quiet? And just, she was such a boss. And then like, it was so good, you guys. It's like she's just standing there, taking it in, soaking it in, and just being quiet and just looking at him. And then he says something like, I'm sorry, babe, to a woman in the audience. And she's like looking at the woman saying, you can do better, or you deserve better, or something like that. And I was like, yes. This right here is empowering, and it was great, and it was amazing. So maybe we just need more situations like that where we can share like how people are bossing this kind of situation. I know this video was a rant, and this is probably not for everybody. Mostly, I'm thinking most of you guys already tuned off or turned off this kind of video and thinking, oh my God, I have to not follow Caroline anymore because she's the absolute worst. She's just talking about sexual harassment and how to take care of your bodies, which is not the main topic of this video, which I hope you understand. What I want you to take away from this is, how are we more professional in our work? Like, I changed the show 12 minutes before the show, and then I took it in and I was professional talking to the client, leaving the venue, But then I had this weird feeling within me. And I would like this to be a conversation. So please let me know in the comments below what you think of this. What should I have done? What can I have done differently? And how can we make sure that this community is safe? Not only the community, like this industry. Like if we want people to be able to do this, I'm talking guys, I'm talking girls, I'm taking women and men, like all gender, non-binary, and you know, all of these people. How do we make sure that they're safe? I don't have the answer. I'm hoping to find it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.